today we're going to look at Photovoice. What exactly is Photovoice? Just a brief definition. This is an evaluation method. It's a type of participatory action research where people who are usually don't have power use photographs or videos actually picture their environment, their experiences, and also express their thoughts. And normally the goal of Photovoice is that to provide a voice for those who have none, to instill critical consciousness, and to influence policy. So why should you use Photovoice? The rewards of taking photographs are very immediate. Actually, when you take a photo, you can see, you can even narrate. That's when you take action photos. It's a very fun and creative process, and taking photos or videos of familiar scenes and people can actually change the participants' perceptions about their social and physical environment. So basically, photography is very easy to learn and very accessible to everyone. And as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So why should you use Photovoice? Because images can be very understood regardless of the language, culture, and factors. If you take a picture of maybe this poor child suffering, someone however miles away who may not know that this child speaks Swahili can know it conveys a message. If you take a picture of circus, people still, it conveys a message. So normally when you take these pictures, it helps policymakers to actually see the reality in their face, so they can't deny it because this is tangible evidence. And that's why Photovoice is a new evaluation method that is very widely encouraged to use. And by creating pictures, a record of what exists at a particular point in time can be used to hold the policymakers accountable. And also photography and video provide a means for empowerment without requiring people to stand up and speak in public. With photos, you can speak volumes, you can use it for advocacy without actually going to speak in public and advocating and fighting. A picture can speak 1,000 words, and with that picture, it can tell the story and actually cause policymakers to decide or act, or donors to give funding. So who should use Photovoice? People who lack a voice in a community or society should use Photovoice. For example, children and youth in difficult circumstances, they can take a picture or video that tells their stories. Homeless adults and families, people with physical and mental disabilities or mental health issues, people with chronic disease or medical conditions, members of the racial, ethnic, language, or religious cultural minorities, people whose way of life is threatened, and people who are discriminated against because of class, caste, and way of life or poverty. The rural poor, people who live in difficult and unacceptable conditions and want to change them. All these can tell their stories using Photovoice and can be able to convey this message to policy or decision makers to actually take an action. That's why we do Photovoice. It also shows impact in impact communications. If you want to actually show the impact of a program, it's very encouraged to use Photovoice as an approach. You get videos and photographies of what has prevailed with this intervention, how it has impacted people's lives, people telling their stories. So it's a very interesting, fun thing to do, but yet it yields results. Other types of organizations that can use Photovoice are schools and other organizations that work with children and youth, orphanages, group houses, homeless shelter, other living situations, organizations that work with people whose needs are meant are commonly ignored. All these can work and use Photovoice in the documentation and communication of impacts or asking for action. Policymakers, community health centers, and similar health providers can use Photovoice. Organizations that serve people with physical and mental disabilities and mental issues, advocacy organizations in health, human education, that include advocacy in their mission, international aid, and refugee organizations. All these can use Photovoice as an approach, using photos and the videos to tell a story. So when might you use Photovoice? When photos can change people's opinions about themselves and the environment, then you can use Photovoice. When a group situation needs to be publicized, you can use Photovoice. We've seen that with news outlets. They use photos that speak volumes about situations that are happening. For example, the road safety that happened recently, so many issues that are happening, people rioting because of taxes. All these photos can speak to a public situation. When a problem needs to be publicized, you can use Photovoice. When change is necessary, and Photovoice can help sway away policymakers. For example, the impacts of COVID, so many photos are taken, and that's the livelihood programs. Then you can use Photovoice. When a community assessment is needed or is in progress, you can use Photovoice. When you need to document the process or gather for an evaluation or intervention or program, I've talked about it, intervention, programming, and evaluation. You can use Photovoice. You can do a very good documentary. You can do a very good videos, to communicate evaluation findings and impact. When you need to hold policymakers, others accountable, I said these are indeed some photos are taken for policymakers to take action. You can use Photovoice. When you need to document a site or an event of your life that is threatened or about to disappear, you can use Photovoice. That is photography and videography. So how do you use Photovoice? There's some general guidelines on how to use Photovoice. It should be very participatory, collaborative process. From the beginning, participants and staff need training in Photovoice, the participants need support, and the project should be able to result in some action. Putting together a Photovoice project requires you to recruit participants, or a mentor, facilitator, and a staff or volunteer. Plan the project within the community or group you're working with. Train the technical training, train the ethical and safety photography in various situations, concept forms, group building and training workshops. All these you can put together to actually come up with a Photovoice project. I said recruit participants, train them in technical and ethical use in photography and in group building. The staff and trainers, this can be technical training, group facilitation, basic counseling skills, the structures and aim of the project, to get out and take pictures. That's always the structure and aim of the project. Work gradually in very small groups that can help discuss and reflect on the various experiences and pictures and choose the best from each participant or video synthesis. So you can work with participants if you work in communities, use community leaders to take these photos of volunteers, and then you can choose the best in a small group. Stage and exhibit the participants' photography or videos, and then start putting together a Photovoice project is take action, follow up, evaluate, and then do the whole process again.